Hello guys, Voxel Pro here with a Metal Gear Solid 5 E3 gameplay demo analysis. This is 2015, of course. Let's dive right into it. I'm gonna start with of what I see. First of all, the concern with microtransactions is addressed. Take a listen.
However, before we begin, I'd like to quickly address a concern that's been brought up by the media recently about microtransactions in the game. While it is true that a few microtransaction options do exist, the entire game has been carefully balanced to be fair and enjoyable with or without using these options. There's no pay-to-win option. Rest assured that every single item, weapon, and mission in the game is available to all players without paying a single cent. However, due to the sheer scale of the game and the time required to explore it all, microtransactions were added as a completely optional feature for players who might not be able to spend as much time with the game. Nothing more, nothing less. More info on how this works will be announced in the future, but for now, let's jump into today's demo. What you see on the screen right now is your Aerial Command Center, or ACC. The ACC is essentially your home away from home where you can manage your army, plan strategy between missions, and do various things without heading back to base.
Moving on, the ACC, or the Aerial Command Center, is like a base away from a base, as he said so. The emblems and each of their meanings has already been ID'd, like the combat unit, the security team, R&D, the base development unit, the support unit, the intel team, the medical team. Of course, we have the brig and medical bay, and then we have quarantine facility. Now, some of these we've already seen before in Portable Ops and Peace Walker, but there are a few new ones on this list. The security team could be the team that's guarding the base. The base development is kind of self-explanatory. They're the ones that develops the base. The support unit, I'm pretty sure the support unit is one that supplies the extra ammunition and even support fire. Of course, we've already seen intel. They're the ones that get you intelligence on where the enemies are moving, or depending on what you want to ask for. The medical team is the one that has the medicine. You know, we've already seen brig and medical bay, as we've seen, like I said, medical team and R&D and the combat unit and the intel team. But brig and medical bay make their return. And then there's this other one, the quarantine facility. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe this is a gameplay mechanic, because people get sick, and maybe the diamond dogs are starting to get infected by the skulls. Maybe they become experiments, and maybe the way that they experiment on them is to make it airborne. Maybe sometime in the game they try to make these things to where they're airborne and it affects the diamond dogs, so he has to kill them, and maybe that's why we see what we see in the E3 trailer analysis. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. You guys talk about it. Go. The next thing I want to talk about is heroism number. The heroism number. It's used to help recruit members, and you can probably test them at Mother Base. I'm gonna have another trailer analysis part up soon. I already have one actually uploaded. The second one will be uploaded, and I don't know, sometime in the third one or fourth one it might be uploaded. We might get to that part. Also, we see a number of different weapon categories. First, we have the handguns. That's, your pistols, the SMGs, the shotguns, sniper rifles. This is a new one. Grenade launchers, light machine guns, rocket launchers, and then support weapons. That's like the C4 grenades and junk. So, whatever. There's not really much to say about that. But let's go on to the next thing. The next thing we see is a deep, rich customization tool that's akin to something that we saw in Ghost Recon Future Soldier. There are 3 settings for customized carnage per weapon. At least I'm guessing it's 3 for every weapon, because maybe it's 3 just for the setting, because when they switch over, it becomes a new thing each time. Or maybe you have 3 customized weapons, that way you can switch between the 3 settings, and then the 3, and then the, like, when I say the settings, I'm talking about the settings per category. When I was talking about the handguns, the sniper rifles, and stuff like that. So you pick the setting one. I think it's probably gonna be the highly customizable whatever it is. So in that case, it was an SMG and an MRS4. So the areas of customization include the base. That's what their weapon is originally. In this case, it's the MRS4 rifle. The barrel, the stock, the magazine. It will probably be the reason why that's probably in there is probably because it will offer extended mags or a different ammo type, like a flame, or like flammable rounds or exploding rounds. Maybe some weird ones too. Who knows? The muzzle accessory, like the suppressor. I'm pretty sure that's the only muzzle accessory that I know of. There's optical sights 1 and 2. There's a flashlight, a laser sight, an underbarrel, grenades, and shotguns. Well, shotguns are not confirmed yet because I didn't see it, but they put it in MGS4 and they put it in Peace Walker, so I'm pretty sure they'll do it for this one too. There's and then finally there's color. You can have a solid color, or you can have camo patterns, and they got them in a variety of colors too. Except for the color customization, they can affect different stats of the weapon, such as damage, impact force, penetration, firing speed, effective range, grouping, and auto aim correct. Let me make a point on this real quick. So, as a side note pertaining to the weapon effects that I was just talking about, some of these have contradicting elements, just like other games that have these types of customization systems for weapons of this magnitude, like weapons like guns. You see it in Army of Two, like I said, you see it in Ghost Recon, you'll probably see it in Call of Duty, you definitely see it in Battlefield, a lot of first-person shooter games, really, to be at the end of the day, it does. So, for example, I think as firing speed goes up, damage will go down, or as firing speed goes down, damage will go up, and the effective range will also go up. Because, you have a powerful weapon. It just makes sense. If you have a weapon that shoots, has a power behind it, it's gonna, first of all, the effective range will go up, but it's also gonna lower its speed. Like the AK. Take the AK in real life. The AK has, I think when I say it has a slower firing rate than the M16, but I think the bullets from an AK-47 penetrate more than the M16. So that's just me. Also, as damage go up, the grouping might go down, because the kickback from the gun, or the recoil, if you will cause your gun's aiming to go awry in the midst of going full auto, which means that will cause the gun's bullets that reach their target not be so close together, aka the grouping might go down. The bottom line is, the higher the recoil, the lower the grouping. Also, it looks like there are 2 types of tapes. The first type is the MGS5 original music made for the game originally, like Harry Gregson Williams and those guys that that actually made the game made the music for the game. Excuse me. There's also the licensed specific music from the 80s. I'm not sure if it's gonna only stick to the 80s. Like, I'm not sure if it could go to the 70s too, or if it's from 80 to 84, or if it's the whole 80s decade, or maybe it's a combination of all three. I don't know. The reason why I say that is because, you might have Tears for Fears on them, but Tears for Fears was, I want to say, made in 86. I'm not really sure about that, 85, 86, but the game takes place in 84, but it's a popular 80s song. So maybe we might see some leniency on a couple of different tapes. You can also listen to the briefing tapes when you highlight the mission that you want to do. There are two types of modes. There's a mission mode and there's a free roam mode. There's not really much to say about that, except for with the mission mode, you go straight to the mission. In free roam mode, you do whatever you want. You can't go play cards with your buddies or something like that. I don't think there's any civilians when you're out in the country of Afghanistan or Africa. I think there's just mercenaries. It's just the open world stealth. It won't be like GTA, and it's been said before. Also, I called it. I said in one of my videos, I said custom preset loadouts. I said it. I was like, this will be great. I hope that they do it. And they did it. I don't know. I might have caused it. I would like to think that I caused that because I asked Kojima on Twitter if that was gonna happen, and I don't know. Maybe he was already planning it. I would like to think that I influenced it, but I probably didn't. I know I didn't, but I would like to think that I did. Anyway, I know that there's at least two because it says loadout 1. Why would you name something loadout 1 if there wasn't going to be anything after that? That's like saying that there's only one number and you take a counting class. That's like you saying that's like the numbers and the number system going from 1 and then that's it. People's monies would be messed up. That's just me. Also, you can change your buddy's equipment. We know that we can see it. We don't see them actually change equipment here, but we see here that it's feasible because the amount of windows that shows up on the buddy selected means that the specific items that can change. So I'm guessing in this case we're seeing Quiet has her sniper rifle on there on one of the one of the windows. That means we can probably change her weapon. That's just me. The next thing is the number next to the vehicle must mean that that's the number of those specific type of vehicles that's at Mother Base, which means that we can carry a whole lot of vehicles. We can hold a whole lot of vehicles at Mother Base, and also the numbers are not health of the vehicle. I say that because if it was the health of the vehicles, it will most likely be represented as a percentage and not as a regular integer number. Also, the durability is on the side, so it's kind of already there on the side. Anyway, you can play as other Diamond Dog soldiers, just like you can do with MSF soldiers and Peace Walker. But also notice how the codename system is implemented at this time in the lore, where the codename has an adjective and then an animal. like a scowling dole. But I'm gonna call that D-hole because it just sounds funny. D-hole. D-hole. That sounds like an insult, but you know, sadistic kitten. That she doesn't sound all that great. And if that's a boy, then you know, he might have some problems. And vile crab, which sounds like a medical condition, but that's just me. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. Snake. When you see Snake, he has two options for his. He has two options: his gear and his head. So the gear is something that we've seen before, like, you know, tiger stripe, olive drab, or olive darb, or whatever it is. I can never remember how to spell it because the A and R gets mixed up in my mind, and I never really see it that often to actually confirm what it is. And you know, there's going to be countless others because, you know, even in Metal Gear Solid 3, there's at least like 10, 15 different ones, and then in Peace Walker there was a whole bunch. So I highly doubt it that it's just like those 2 or 3 colors. There's got to be a black one, a red one, a blue one, you know, pretty much what we've seen in MGS3. I'm sure there's probably going to be a comrade uniform where it's going to be like you know, where it's going to be kind of like the MSF one, but you know, it will be it will have the colors of Diamond Dogs on it. It will probably be like gray and black, I guess. I don't know. It have a digital like camo, like gray and black. I guess that's my thing. Also, the second one is his head. Now, I'm not really sure what to think of that. I promise if this has something to do with the doctor thing that took place like a month or so ago, I won't know what to do. I won't know what to do. But, you know, what could it be? Is that the menu that we're gonna see on how we equip the scarf, or once we beat the game, is there gonna be like a no shrapnel option that we're gonna see for his head, or maybe the infamous bandana might make its return? I don't know what it could mean. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing. I know I passed it before, but I had to let you see the playable soldiers so I can make this point. I think that the Diamond Dog soldiers that have both arms, because I'm not sure if all of them do. After all, Glaz and Politz, the eye and the finger from GZ, from Ground Zeroes, are missing, you know, an eye and a finger. So, and you know, Phantom Pain. So I don't know. Anyway, I think that the other Diamond Dog soldiers who have both arms can carry 2 secondary weapons, because Snake has a bionic arm locked in as his secondary weapon, as one of his secondary weapons, and that's assumably because for the purposes of making the demo, they didn't get the other ones yet either. So I don't know. The drop times are ASAP, 0600, and 1800. So as soon as possible, 6 o'clock in the morning, or 6 o'clock in the evening. That's pretty much your choice. The ASAP option might vary on how far you might be away from the deployment zone, I think, because what if your aerial command center will like, let's say you're taking off from your base and you say, I want to get here ASAP. Like, what does that mean? I don't know. And let's say you're in the base, but you know, you're all the way in, you know, let's say you're trying to get from the farthest point of one map to the farthest point of another map. I don't know what that could mean. That the time could vary. So, yeah. When Snake yells, hold him off, how does the guard not hear that? I mean, he's like, hold him off, and then he's standing like almost doggone near right next to the guard. Maybe he was just in panic mode because his partner was getting attacked. I don't know. Was gonna get attacked. I don't know. Also, the Fulton system has changed. It's now limited to 12. And I'm thinking that's of course with the upgrades that it has. So it could be like 10, 11, 12, then somewhere in between 10, 11, and 11 and 12 that the weight capacity for how much the Fulton goes up. The Fulton can hold goes up. And addition to that, it still costs 300 GMP to send whatever it is, any type of person or any type of storage container or item or vehicle to the base. And also the animation has changed. Notice how he takes a bag out from under it, from under one of his satchels, from behind his back, and then you see him with the hook, and he actually clips it on, and it makes a sound effect. It's like clack, and then he flows up. The person floats up. Before he just he touches his hand on the person, and the person will float up. At least that's how it seemed to me. It didn't seem as involved before, is what I'm saying. Maybe me saying how it was before was just an exaggeration on my part, but it does seem a little bit more fluid and a little bit more realistic now. Also, you can recruit women soldiers, which is great. Materials can be used to craft items and not just to cash it in for GMP, which basically means that if you find some materials, they're part of a crafting system that's gonna be in the Phantom Pain. That's just how it is. I guess some guards, depending on what method you use to knock them out, can be knocked out indefinitely or for days, or maybe when you smoke the cigar, the knocked out guard system, I guess you would call it, just behaves in real time instead of when you're on the e-cigar time, the Phantom Cigar time, because you don't know when he wake up and he could investigate the area and you would be going too fast to stop it because you see dudes running around at 100 miles per hour. I don't know. Also, D-Walker is a walking roller. No? Nothing? Get it? Rock and roller? Whatever. Anyway, he can also CQC guards with greater force than Snake can. And this one's equipped, if I'm not mistaken, with a Gatling gun and a rocket launcher. D-Walker can also scan for nearby enemies in nearby areas. The enemies can use deceptive methods such as decoys, like the ones Snake used. We've already saw the TGS demo where the the alternate TGS demo where he's going through Afghanistan, where Snake's going through Afghanistan, and the soldiers, to counteract the headshots that he got from doing the mission before, can now wear helmets. And when I say the mission before, I don't mean the mission that takes place before that. I mean he did that the player did that same mission twice. That's what I mean. And the second time that he did that same mission, guards were able to react to him. Were able to take methods and take preventative methods to where the player wouldn't use the same techniques, thus making the game feeling a little bit more dynamic. Also, The shield makes a return from Portable Ops, Peace Walker, and various MGOs. You know, I think it was in MGO, the Metal Gear Online that was for Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm pretty sure the shield was I'm pretty sure the shield was in Portable Ops. If not, I think it was in the online versus mode of that. It was definitely in Peace Walker, and I know that that it was in MGS4's online game. The final thing that I listed as, you know, one of the things that I noticed is that the Chopper's miniguns, you know, from his from the player's upgraded helicopter, the minigun can blow up a tank. That's what I've noticed. All right. The final comments that I have. Hopefully this didn't take too long. I just wanted to list some stuff, go down the list very quickly, and hopefully it didn't take too long. Final comments that I had to make is it looks like Snake's heroism is affected by positive and negative points, with tactical takedowns and hits taken respectively, in addition to other variables of the mission, such as alerts, kills, and the time that was done in. And that's not all. That's just some of them. I wonder if the fuel and money will be used for airstrikes and support fire, like it was in the Mercenary series. I don't know if you guys ever played Mercenary Playground of Destruction or Mercenary 2 World in Flames, but when you would send in the airstrike, you would spend money and oil to send that airstrike. So I wonder if that's what the fuel's for. Maybe, who knows? Because after all, in the beginning you do see GMP for, you know, whatever. Here's my last thing. If Snake is... I have a question. If Snake is extracting with a weapon that he didn't develop, does he automatically unlock it? But what if the opposite is true? Does Snake have to rebuy the weapons that he lost in the field because he picked up another weapon in place of that? Like in this example, we saw him develop the sniper rifle. But clearly he switched to the shield and then to the rocket launcher. But if he's extracting with a rocket launcher, does he now unlock that rocket launcher? Does he have to rebuy the sniper rifle that he just bought? Is it still lost to him, or can he go back and get it? How does that work? I'm not really sure, but you know, those are just some thoughts that I had. That's just a quick analysis. That's my quickest analysis that I've done for a gameplay. That's my first analysis that I've done for a gameplay demo. I didn't really dive in too deep with it. I just did some kind of impressions and stuff like that, and I probably won't go forward with anything too deep in the future. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you stayed awake for my, you know, the boringness of it all, and I really appreciate you guys watching. And if you could like and comment, and subscribe to Voxel Pro, because we're going to be continuing the road to the Phantom Pain, putting out these videos as much as possible. Thanks guys, and I will see you guys later.